In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. And we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will do the Floyd test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is the truth. Second, is it fair to all concerned. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships. And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned. Please be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Gerard.
Yes, sir.
Bob the banker. Okay. Do we have any guests this morning? Bill, you're not a guest, as much as you want to think you are.
I've got two here, Tom Collins and his wife Barbara, and they're going to be getting a Paul Harris Fellowship in just a little bit, so thank you all for being here. And then my third guest is Jake Amos. Jake is new into town. He's our new area director for Young Life, so we're glad to have you.
All right. And I see one face that we haven't seen in quite some time. Miss Faye Johnson back there in the back. Hey! Welcome, Faye. Great to see you. Some other faces that haven't been here in a couple of weeks too. Thank you all for coming. It's fantastic. Okay. Announcements. Actually, I'm gonna start something a little bit different, a little community building thing. Yeah, we are in Murfreesboro, and one of the things that Murfreesboro absolutely has are some restaurants. Has anybody been to one of our new restaurants or been to a restaurant and rediscovered it recently that you want to single-handedly promote to all others and say, hey, we need to all go eat there sometime? No? Oh, Don. Yes, sir.
Waldo's Chicken and Beer on Veterans Parkway.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. As long as you're not cooking the chicken, right? Oh, yes. Well, let's start with some announcements. And just to transition from those old memories, let's jump into with the barbecue. Any announcements on the barbecue first?
Well, first meeting is next Friday, Pinnacle Banking on Zoom, 7 a.m. Everybody's welcome. Let's go.
Excellent. Yep. A little bit more urgency. We've got the golf scramble coming up. Any updates there?
Yes, golf scrambles coming up. What we need is people to go onto the website. If you don't know, Steve,
You're going. You can go.
But there's the flyers over here. So if you want to be a home sponsor or a golfer or a corporate sponsor, please get on there and sign up and get your money in. That would be great. If you know people that would like to be part of that.
Birdies is the name of the site. Birdies/breakfast Rotary Golf.
Okay. I think Jamie's put it up on.
It's on the Rotary Connector.
It's
I think it's in the connector, but it's also on the Facebook page
and the website. So, yeah. So we got flyers, connector, website, Facebook, no excuses. Sign up. Okay. All right. So a couple of announcements from the connector. If you haven't read it, we do have a Jake, right? Jake? Yeah, just for some reason I said that and it didn't come out right. But there's a reception at the alley honoring you, I believe. What is the date of that, Bill?
August the 2nd, it's Sunday afternoon. It's a meet and greet.
Okay.
Young Life is one of our grant recipients.
Mm-hmm.
So we always like to try to connect any of our grant recipients to the club.
Absolutely. And every time that we get the opportunity to go out and support our grant recipients by going to their events or open houses or whatever, the better relationship we get with them. Also in the connector, you'll find a Stuff the Bus announcement there. I would have to go through all of these. And Greenhouse Ministries is still looking for food pantry items. Are there any other announcements from the club? None at all. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. So today's presentation is hosted by Judy Powell. Judy, if you'd mind coming up here and getting us all, the Rotary Foundation, excited.
Good morning. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to make a couple of presentations. We're going to have a few remarkable comments by me. You'll notice how Daniel described it in the connector. It's a wonderful program. And then we have a final presentation that we'll be making. So we are talking about the Rotary Foundation. And the Rotary Foundation's thank you for contributions is the Paul Harris Fellow. And that's available not only to Rotarians, but to non-Rotarians. So what we're going to do first is present a Paul Harris Fellow to Tom Collins. He and his wife are here, and we're going to ask them to come up. Bill Taylor is going to give you his story, those of you who may not know him, about why Bill thought he was worthy of a Paul Harris Fellow recognition. And Lori Williams is the member who contributed points to make it possible. So, thanks. Bill, you want to go first, and then we'll do presentations and pictures.
Watch out for the cord here.
Yeah, be careful of our.
Yeah.
We've not killed the recipient yet.
That'd be terrible to wipe you out before we ever.
Yeah, no human sacrifice.
But it is a great pleasure that we get to honor Tom and Barbara Collins. Y'all may not know them, but they are some of the most generous givers in our community. And how they give is with an antique fire truck. And at the barbecue festival, you know, when I went back out on Sunday to pick up the U-Haul truck, the only thing that was visible left was some tents. So what that means to me, and I want to share it, and that's why we're here, and it makes an impact, that we had over 11,000 people there the day before. That is what we got to present to our community. And that's why we do the golf tournament. That's why we do the barbecue festival, and to give those resources to put back into the community. But it was all gone. But what wasn't gone was those experiences that people had the day before, and they'll always have that. What Tom and Barbara do, in case you didn't see it, a lot of us had the opportunity to see it, and Jack's smiling back there and everything. They have an antique fire truck, and they dress up in full costume. And they do this not only for us, but for all over the place. And they give kids rides on that fire truck. And then the little ones get up there and they get to hand crank that siren, and there's just biggest smiles on their faces. They don't charge anything. They won't let us pay for gas or anything. Tom doesn't even want the truck to get looking good because he wants the kids to enjoy it. And so they made lasting memories for tons of children. And so we just thank you for being those difference makers in everything. Is there anything you would like to share?
Well, I just have a good time doing it. My wife always says, who's enjoying it more, you or the kids? And I says, I'm not answering that loaded question. And Joe come up to me at the barbecue and said to me, he's got a grandson that restores. Well, I know Charlie. Know of him. I don't personally know him. But no, this one's going to stay the way it is. Like Bill said, we want the kids to climb on it, sit on it, run the siren, run the bell, and have fun. That's our only goal.
And it's not just little kids, it's kids of all ages to 100.
Well, I'm coming next year.
Okay, let's be sure we get this out.
Yeah, and Lori, if you want to come up as well. We have a pin and a certificate to recognize the Paul Harris Fellow, and Lori's going to get in the picture before y'all make all the pictures. Please.
Well, that'd be good.
So,
You guys scoot that way.
Let's come over this way.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
behind you.
All right, is that gonna work? Okay, all right, and we're looking, yeah.
You're looking good, Bill. That's
I forgot to powder my head. Yeah. Thank you all.
And I got one more thing. I'm on the board of directors at Journey Home. I've seen many of you there. I can take you anytime you'd like to go, but it's a facility that's a compliment to the city. And I had a number of nice comments recently and says they've noticed there's less and less handlers on the corners begging for money. So we got credit for part of that, by all means. We're trying to get them off the street. And we'd love to have anybody would like to come and see the facility. It's just beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, and we're part of that. We've got a Rotary logo on the executor's room.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're
I'll
part of
notice
that.
that next time.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good. Now, you'll remember that our club is a 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. And to make that possible, at the end of each Rotary year, or towards the end of each Rotary year, we look to see anybody that's not already a Paul Harris Fellow. And we have members who've contributed points to make possible to make every member in the Murfreesboro Breakfast Rotary Club a Paul Harris Fellow. So we're finishing out the ones that we did for last year. We have 2 ladies to get a Paul Harris Fellow. And it's because of the benefits of Jim Batchelor and Barb Ford and lots of other members here who've contributed points to make that possible. So we have Ansley Ledbetter and Julie Young, and we'll ask them to come up, and we have Paul Harris Fellow. For them as well, and we'll get this all organized here and make a picture. It's a lot of people works right. The right person gets the right. Come on, Julie, we'll do them. Okay, both of you at the same time. The certificate's the only thing make a difference because the pins are the same.
Thank you so much.
And here's the pen and the pen, and we'll take another picture. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I think we need to tighten the screws. I'm old. I can't manage all this stuff. Now, you'll know that I've said in the past that there are 2 foundations associated with the Murfreesboro Breakfast Rotary Club. It's Murfreesboro Breakfast Rotary Foundation, MBRC Foundation, and there's the Rotary Foundation. The difference between the 2 is 2 things primarily. The Murfreesboro Breakfast Rotary Foundation is the one that you hear about that conducts the barbecue festival, the golf tournament, and it's the one that grants the funds the grants that we offer to the charities in the community. It's the one that members are most actively involved in because you're doing all the work to get that done. The foundation I want to talk about today is the Rotary Foundation. And the Rotary Foundation is what allows any of our contributions to join other contributions from Rotarians all over the world to fund the projects that Rotary International supports. So the Rotary Foundation is what allows Rotary to continue doing good in the world. It's easier probably to see the Murfreesboro Breakfast Foundation and to see the benefits because of your involvement. But I think it's important to support both. And in thinking about that, what made me aware of the Rotary Foundation, I think, goes back to some of my early days in Rotary, and some of you weren't born then, but just ignore that. Because and backing up, I came to Murfreesboro in 1974 to work at National Health Corporation, and joined Rotary in 1995. And that's a little over 20 years. So the first 7 years I was at Murfreesboro, I was traveling 100% of the time and working on a master's at MTSU. Then I got married, and Joe and I lived in Marietta, Georgia, so I commuted on the weekends for 13 years. So I didn't do much in the community here until 1995. I met Faye. She was one of my professors at MTSU, and she's who invited me to join Rotary. So I joined in 1995, and as you calculate, that's over 30 years. I understand that. I'm still walking around. It's okay. And I appreciate some of the members in this room were there when I joined, Ewing Sellers and Steve Dix, Faye, Barb Ford, Miles, lots of people were in that original group that were mentors to what Rotary meant, and you could see Rotary in action through them. Other members who have gone to do other things, Tracy Pack, Rick Sane, Don Hastings, we lost Joe, Barb. All these members made a big impression on me. And I got involved and was on the board and did a few things. And in 2002, 2003 was president-elect. And back in the old days, it was much more common for our president-elects to go to the Rotary International Convention because it was when they went, they came back and reported. Steve talked about playing golf in Scotland, I believe it was. And so various people. So it wasn't unusual for us to think about going to the Rotary International. So as it turned out, the convention my year was in Brisbane, Australia. So Joe and I went back to Australia. We had been in January, February on a cruise. And so anybody that's ever flown to Australia knows how crazy we are. But we went to Brisbane for that international convention. And that's where I really saw that Rotary truly is an international organization, because they had a parade of flags from all the countries that have Rotary clubs. It's just like being at the Olympics. It was so inspiring to me at that time. We sat beside a pharmacist from Ireland who was going out on trips to do polio vaccine distribution. And that was quite different back then. We heard of a renowned cardiac surgeon speak about his work in a third world country where, coming from the best possible equipment to maybe some of the worst possible equipment, he was talking about the procedures he was doing and the training he was providing to those health providers in those countries. So it truly made you much more aware of what was going on. We saw people dressed in native costumes, but everybody greeted us. Could clearly understand the international flavor because they were speaking lots of different languages. When you go to a Rotary International meeting, they are translating, they typically have headphones that translate it into at least 7 different languages. So it's really quite interesting to be a part of that. Hearing firsthand from the people who are doing the projects, from the leaders of Rotary, made an impression on me. And the year I was there, the upcoming Rotary International president was Jonathan Bajiagbe, the first Rotary International president from the continent of Africa. He was from Nigeria. And the idea that I was there when he was making his first initial speeches as president of International was truly inspiring to me. So as a result, I've continued to go to Rotary International conventions. I've been to 7 more after that one. So, and still counting, I hope. But getting to hear about the projects, to see the people, to meet, I mean, they're real people. They're people just like you and me, that just from a different country. To travel with Rotarians, we've had the opportunity to make some trips pre and post convention for a couple of the meetings, and meeting Rotarians who are doing work that makes them inspired in their communities and around the world. You'll remember that Jo Edwards, when she was in the club, and Jim Batchelor were involved in a project she was involved with from the university, and did some work in South Africa. And they were doing something with Clorox, and I don't remember what, but some kind of water sanitation project. And they met the people at Westfield Rotary Club in Durban, South Africa. And those Rotarians contacted Jim about inviting people from the Murphysboro Breakfast Club to come and visit. Well, 4 of us decided to do that, me and Faye and Barb and Jim Bishop. With our spouses, we take off and we go to South Africa, and they hosted us the first week. They took us to visit their projects. We were introduced to Jabulani and Sister Michael and the work she was doing with HIV women and children, some of whom were orphans from the HIV. And it was amazing because it was a relatively small club, the amount of work they were doing. As a result, you may remember that Barb came back and was hosting dinner parties for 10 years We called it Jambalani, which means happiness in Zulu. That supported projects that they were doing. Some a global grant, some were just direct projects at the Rotary Club there. So moving forward, in 2023, 20 years after that first convention, convention was back in Australia. So I went to Melbourne that year. And that was the year that Jennifer Jones was Rotary International President, the first woman Rotary International President. So there I had the opportunity to take a short sail on a big windjammer, you know, those pirate-looking ships that have the big ropes and all this and stuff, and people climb up there. They have, one of the Rotary clubs has a project where they do youth training on this ship, and they're teaching them to actually sail the ship. They say that everybody that's on the ship goes up that mast and back down before they leave for that trip. That wasn't true of the Rotarians who did the little sail we did. But
I wanted to see your picture.
let me show you a picture of Norway doing the same thing. This is the kind of ship that I'm talking about, you know, the big mast. So it's pretty impressive. And although they weren't my age, they were close to my age, the Rotarians who were doing the work on the boat. So it was interesting to see. So I met a Rotarian after the Hamburg Convention from San Diego, and I visited her. And her club was doing a project at an organization called Urban Street Angels. And they were providing housing and meals for homeless youth, most of whom were working, but just couldn't afford. So the Rotary Club was just there serving a meal. But it's interesting to see the people and the work that all the Rotary clubs around the world are doing. You can, just picking up a Rotary magazine or looking at your Rotary magazine email, you can find stories like that. You remember that Barb Ford worked with the people at Milano's and distributed food during the pandemic. Well, there was a guy in India who's doing breakfast bread, I think they called it. He gave the recipe, but I don't do that, so I don't cook. So, but anyway, but he's been doing it for 28 years. And he originally sponsored a health clinic in the local hospital. And he was he had a security systems business, and found that one of the problems of the people who came to the clinic was being malnourished, not having enough food. So he began to experiment with what kinds of things he could provide that would be helpful. And this recipe for the breakfast bread was nutritionally sound, and he has distributed 12 million of those breakfast bread packets over those years. So Rotarians around the world are making a tremendous difference. There's a Rotary Club in Georgia, it's Madison County, Georgia, and they build wheelchair ramps. They had a member who was delivering Meals on Wheels, and the recipient was a polio survivor, and they saw that he had to crawl down his front steps to get to his wheelchair. So as a result, they built him a wheelchair ramp, and since they began that work, they've now built 1,000 wheelchair ramps in that community, that one Rotary Club. So Rotary Foundation supports lots of different kinds of projects. On your table, you've got a handout that's every Rotarian every year, and I hope there's enough for everybody to have one, because I'd like you to take it home with you, because it has lots of good information on it. But across the bottom are the areas of focus for Rotary Foundation global grants. And you'll see that it's the full gamut of things that would make life necessary to be successful. And Rotary clubs are able to reach to some of the neediest areas in the world in providing these services. Some of the things, if you read the Rotary magazines, there's one that's a camp for youth that introduces them to nature, and where they get to appreciate the benefits of saving the planet, doing things that are ecologically sound. There are articles about people doing research for malaria, having recently been to Africa and having to deal with mosquito netting when you get up and, you may not ever get up in the middle of the night, but I get up in the middle of the night, and climbing through a mosquito net to get to the bathroom is not an easy thing to do. But it's important, and it's one of the things that prevents your being available to the mosquitoes. But malaria is a serious problem in still a number of countries, particularly in Africa. So you still take pills when you go to Africa, preventive for malaria. But the things that we have available easily to us to prevent are not so easily available to people that are dealing with it on hand. So the research toward a vaccine is very important. And there are projects now that are doing that. Every Rotarian every year, the goal is that every Rotarian contributes to the Rotary Foundation every year. And they would like at least a $25 per year commitment, that you begin at that level if it's possible for you. And they give you all the ways that you can contribute. So online, and you can set up a direct recurring donation to Rotary Foundation online. But even if you're like me and you still write checks, there's an address on the back of the form where you can send a check. So they've thought of all of us. Rotary Foundation is a 4-star rated by Charity Navigator, which is a renowned, well-respected evaluator of how well a charity is functioning. And it's maintained that for a number of years. The Rotary Foundation is run by Rotarians, and the decisions are made by Rotarians, and it's one of the most sound things to donate to, in my opinion. Also on your table, there's a single flyer pretty much for Polio Plus. We'll talk more about polio in October. But when you make a contribution, you're usually making a contribution to the annual fund, which supports all the global grant stuff. But you can see on the back the kinds of things that are supported by the annual fund. Funds are donated to Rotary Foundation, are invested for 3 years before they're spent. And then once you get past that, they're divided between the World Fund and district designated grants. So contributions made by our district 6760, ultimately half of it comes back to the district for the district to make the decisions about how the funds are used. And we've benefited from that a time or two with the dictionary project. So there are opportunities for grant recipient in the club if we have projects that we want to have the extra money to involve with. And you can designate what your money goes to. If you don't designate, it goes to the annual fund. You can designate if you want it to go to polio, and then you can be more specific. You can see on the back the list of things that if something is a particular, hits a particular hot button for you, you can designate that. So, okay, I won't say much about polio, but you remember we met that guy from Ireland who was doing polio vaccine distributions. We're down to only 2 countries in the world, Afghanistan and Pakistan, that have live polio virus still active. But the thing to say about polio is that there is no cure. There is a vaccine that prevents it. And until every child is vaccinated, no child is 100% safe, because with the global travel and connections around the world, and we've seen cases in the United States now as a result of we haven't completed that polio vaccine for everybody. People in the United States still get polio vaccine. The Polio Plus campaign is to get to those places where it's not part of the regular system for healthcare. So, let's see. Okay, I'm going to be quick. It's time to start thinking about contributions for this year. July 1st was our first for this Rotary year. And one of the opportunities we have for you is, of course, Foundation Football. Now, I was very discreet in what I worded up. Foundation Football allows you to pick a Tennessee high school team, a college team, and a pro team, 2 of the 3. And the first high school game is August the 21st. So starting next week, we'll begin to talk about getting your teams in and remembering that March Madness also in the spring is a way that we have a little bit of fun and make contributions to the Rotary Foundation. And we just did the Purple Pinkies, which was a Rotary Foundation going to the Polio Plus. So My goal is that everybody will be a contributor to the Rotary Foundation at the $25 level or more. We've recognized people who got their initial Paul Harris Fellow, and you've been present when we've recognized people who got the Paul Harris Fellow plus whatever number of additional $1,000 they've contributed or gotten points for. Today, we want to recognize the next level above those. Paul Harris Fellow plus 8 is the last one of those that is given. After that, you become a major donor. And I'm very happy to have Don O'Gwen to come, and we will present him a crystal that designates the major donor level that he has achieved. So Taylor is also a major donor, so we'll have him in the picture with Don, and we'll have this lovely crystal. And we'll take a picture, and then we'll let Don make a comment or two.
I'm going to jump up here too because I just want to be part of this group. Maybe I'll be a recipient at one point. So can we scoot over there just a little bit? Okay, it's good.
Got it.
Smile, Dawn. There you go.
Thank you. And we'll give you the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning. I joined Rotary in 2005 in Westport, Connecticut. And it was a great club, great members, great projects. But I just don't have a lot of recollection of communications about Paul Harris and Rotary Foundation. And then I moved here in 2011, and the club leadership was all about that, Paul Harris and Rotary Foundation, and that really accelerated the giving that I'd already started. So kudos to this club for really doing a good job on that. And automatic payments made it simple. I never even thought about it. It's just like your light bill, but you've got set on auto pay. It just went in. If cost is a concern for you, just remember that Judy said you can start with $25 a month.
A year.
Oh, a year. Okay.
I'm trying to upsell.
I'm not selling.
Yeah. And they can divide that $25 into weekly payments if you need it. But if you think about your paycheck, who can say what is the amount of the deductions that happen every month on your paycheck? You don't even notice it. It just goes through and life goes on. It'll be the same way like that if you start with Rotary Foundation with auto payments. So there's a famous Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, who said, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So I hope my example and my words lead you to think about that first step in getting involved in automatic deductions to Rotary Foundation. Thanks. Thanks, Judy.
Just one comment. This is this year's Rotary International president, Oleiko Babalola. He is also from Nigeria, the second Rotary International president from the continent of Africa, also from Nigeria. Unfortunately, Jonathan Mangiabi died in 2023. But I appreciate your attention.
I've shared this story many times, and I'll share it probably many, many more times. I became a Rotarian when I got my first Paul Harris Fellowship recognition, and it was a points donation from Steve Daniel, and it meant so much. I mean, I was a Rotarian before. I was paying my dues and attending meetings, but it wasn't until somebody that I respected saw something in me and said, I want to donate points to get him to that level. And it really does make an impact on the commitment when you've got, it's not just about the money. It's about us as Rotarians being able to celebrate each other, to honor each other, and to motivate each other. I used to think that the Rotary Foundation was about that, was about money. It is not. It's really about using something as simple as dollars, even $25 a year, to be able to make a real impact at the individual level, but then also the global level. Dawn, thank you. Thank you for being an inspiration for us in continuing to give at the level that you have given. And Judy, thank you for leading us in that. Okay, just a couple of more announcements that I thought about. Some of you responded to my email several weeks ago about RLI, Rotary Leadership Institute in Smyrna. I want to let you know that has actually been canceled because, long story, but we're going to try and get it again for next year. But there are 2 RLIs that are coming up in September, and one of those is in Tullahoma, so not that far away. I think you were one that was interested in doing that. So I'll get the information to you on going there. It just won't be quite as convenient as Smyrna. But there is a summer leadership series that is happening in Franklin on August 1st, specifically to membership and achieving greater membership in Rotary. And I will send that out to you guys by email if you're interested in going. It is a $70 charge. The club can cover your attendance if you want to attend that event. Also, with regard to membership, August, I was told, is membership month. Yes. So we are, as a board and as a club, are inviting all kinds of guests to come join us to see what we're about in August. So be thinking about people that are early birds. That's important. Maybe the first important thing, but also fit our club's personality. People who are definitely believe in service above self, people who have a great sense of humor, and people who really want to make a difference in the community that we serve. And that goes for any meeting in August. Did I miss anything there, Bill? Okay, fantastic.
Lots of contests for next month.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Do you want to give us a little preview of that or no?
That's all the preview, right?
Okay, excellent. All right. I like it. Grant updates. Grant applications are live right now. You can access them through the website. Jamie's been putting some stuff up. Also, if you represent an organization or know of an organization that has not maybe submitted their use of funds annual report from money that they got last year, please encourage them to do so. We gave 40 grants out last year. We have gotten 11 use of funds reports back. You have to get the use of funds report into us before you can be considered for a grant this coming cycle. Okay. Also, I am looking for volunteers for the New Generations Committee. If you want more information about that, but basically it's looking into younger Rotarians like Rotaract, Interact, that kind of stuff, plus also some stuff with the 4-way test that Adam's working on. If you're interested in getting involved with that, possibly leading a committee, let me know. It's always better to volunteer than voluntold. And okay, next week is our presentation is from the Gentle Barn. The Gentle Barn is a pretty cool organization that rescues farm animals from neglect, and then they give them a better quality of life at the end of their lives. And I think that's it. Any last minute comments?
Are they bringing in?
To be honest with you, I have no clue. Wouldn't that be fantastic? All right, if that's it, then let's go out and be Rotarians.